Oh my god, so I just fucking realized that my stepmom and my sister are fake profiling me and are not only watching everything I do on social media, but I think they're interacting with me. Now, why this is curious is because the entire family just stopped acknowledging my existence in its complete entirety. All communication, just cut every last bit of communication off with me in 2011, right after I told them I was divorcing my husband. And I know that they're watching me, and so now that I know, I have your attention. Bitches, thank you for giving me this platform to say to your face everything I've always wanted to say, but you wouldn't let me. Like, remember when I tried to go by the house earlier this year? You remember? You know, Daddy met me outside behind the cow gate, which isn't weird at all. That's not fucking weird at all. Cow gate? But anyway, you know that both of you threatened to call the police on me. You wouldn't even show your pretty face. You haven't seen your daughter. Oh, the little girl that you literally used to tell me, not once, you told me like so daily. I told your daddy the only way I'd marry him was that Sarah become my daughter and I raise her. And do you remember how, like at school, it was a rule I was never allowed to say that you weren't my real mom? Because you weren't. You know how confusing... Do you have any idea how confusing that was for me? Did you know, too, that all of the kind of behavioral things that were going on with me were due to the fact that I'm on the autism spectrum? The only time you noticed me was when I was being bad or annoying you, which were both the same thing, so. And everything you did seemed to hurt me in an autistic way. I hadn't seen or talked to y'all since Daddy came to the house in 2011. I did tell you about this. He knocked at the door and he proceeded to tell me that I was nothing but a complete disappointment. You know, like basically all the things he told me daily as a child. A piece of shit, a waste of everyone's time and a waste of the planet's oxygen. He was screaming these words at me as I was walking backwards. I couldn't even make this up. I'm walking away from him, circling my house as I'm walking backwards, and he's following me, repeating these things to me. These hateful things, because I'm divorcing the man that I'm married to, yet has never lived with us for the whole 6 years we've been married. I mean, I always knew he was having affairs, but at that time, it was made known to me that he was not even trying to salvage my self-esteem at all. He was just letting everybody know that, you know, that I didn't want to do that anymore. I was lonely. I was being publicly shamed. I had been invited and went to a party at his mistress's home, well, her parents' home, for a birthday party where I was shown loud, live, and in living color that, yeah, he was definitely having an affair, and it was definitely with that woman that he's in the pool with, whose house I'm at right now with my kids. Wow. Who does that? To this day, I'll go on Facebook today. There are pictures of me and my kids at her party on her profile. Still. With my ex-husband. Lots of them on her profile still. I was never unfaithful to him. Ever. Now, sister, my younger one, the one that I grew up with, who hated me my whole life, she had, just before that, cut off all communication. She started denying my existence. At the time, my 13-year-old daughter, who I did not raise, she just started living with me after never living with me. I was drugs. I couldn't do it. I knew I couldn't do it. Instead of dragging her around with me, let her paternal grandmother raise her. The paternal grandmother got sick with cancer and passed away. In 2007, my oldest daughter, started acting out. She ended up back with me is what she moved in, okay? My sister started hanging out. Apparently, she and my daughter were close, had been close. Doing this mom and daughter thing. I smoke weed. I always have. Probably always will. I don't know. So we found out that my daughter was smoking weed. And so the thing is that my daughter knew that I smoked weed. I had a problem. I took issue with laying down any kind of judgment, or especially judgment in the form of punishment. Because she didn't get in any type of trouble. She just got caught, I think, by my sister or something. And so because I wouldn't sign over all my rights to my sister and let her live over there, that was part of it. Or even that I wouldn't punish my daughter for doing the same thing I did. That just doesn't make sense to me. That just screams hypocrite, right? Our parents, they are the definition of hypocrite. I'm so glad I have your attention. This is so weird. And now that I just realized it, I'm not going to say your name. But sister, even though you never really were, I still love you, I guess. And in the same way, I love the guy who's buying a condom at Circle K right now. That kind of way, you know? I guess I'm going to wrap this video up here because you're not going anywhere, number one. Because you're going to see what else I say. There's no way that you'll ever, call me up and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. You would never even acknowledge that this is what's really happening and probably has been happening. Oh my God, I feel so stupid right now. The whole time y'all been doing this. I mean, I realized that, old high school people do it. Jealous people do it. In-laws do it. Everybody but me does it. Creating a fake profile so that I could spy on somebody? That's weird at best and criminal at worst. It's never been a thought of entertained. Sure, I'm a human. It's popped in there, but my brain's like, get out of here. And you know what's most amazing is I have never intentionally, publicly shamed any of them, or nor have I ever spoke in any sort of detail about my childhood. Right after everything happened and I lost all my kids, I wasn't even allowed to talk to my kids for 3 years. Couldn't even speak to them. The same kids I raised by myself. Angry. Didn't even touch the things that I felt. I was in a bad place. And then I lost all of my family. All of them. All of them. And if this isn't justice, I don't fucking know what is. Because number one, it's ironic. Okay, and God is nothing if not ironic. And it's ironic because they've never allowed me to call them, to email them. I've sent them. I don't do it anymore. I used to send them emails, texts. They never get answered. They only speak to one of my kids, and it just happens to be the same kid with their last name. While I'm happy that they give presents to the one, I'm angry that they ignore the other four. So anyway, I guess I'll speak to you lovely people later. And you know what? None of my kids are redheaded, and they all have souls, and they're all beautiful. Yeah, all mine. That happened too.